Trading is like dating, and most traders lose money for the exact same reason most people ruin relationships. They chase excitement, they chase attention, they chase the feeling that something is happening right now. And just like in dating, the moment you start chasing, your position weakens. If you have ever jumped into a trade late because price was moving fast, if you have ever felt your chest tighten when a move started without you, if you have ever entered just to be in and instantly felt regret, then you already know what I am talking about. Because chasing feels like action, but it is actually panic wearing a costume. And here is the uncomfortable truth. The market can smell desperation the same way a person can. This is education, not financial advice, but it might be the most expensive lesson you keep relearning until you finally get it. Let me tell you a story. Not a motivational poster story, a real story. The kind that makes you cringe because you have been there. It starts late at night because the worst decisions always do. It is 2:13 in the morning. Your room is quiet. The only light is your screen, and the chart is moving like it is trying to leave without you. Green candles stack up. 1, 2, 3, fast, smooth, confident. And that is when the voice shows up in your head. The voice that sounds like logic, but is really fear. If you do not buy now, you will miss it. If you miss it, you will feel stupid. If you feel stupid, you will chase even harder next time. So just buy now. Just get in. Just be part of it. Your finger hovers over the button and your heart beats like you are about to send a risky message to someone you really want to like you. You tell yourself you are calm. You are not calm. You click buy. For 3 seconds you feel relief. You feel included. You feel like you did not miss out. Then the candle hesitates. Then it wobbles. Then it drops. Not a polite pullback. Not a gentle dip. A sharp slap. Your trade goes red instantly, like the market waited for your entry just to embarrass you. And now you are not thinking about your plan, you are thinking about your feelings. You stare at the red number and your brain starts bargaining. It will bounce. It always bounces. I cannot sell now. If I sell now, it will go back up and I will hate myself. So you hold. It drops again. Now it is not just a small loss. Now it is personal. Now it is ego. Now it is pride. And this is where most traders ruin their accounts the same way most people ruin relationships. They start chasing harder. They move the stop loss farther away because they do not want to be wrong. They add more money to the position because they want to feel in control again. They refresh the chart every 10 seconds like they are refreshing a phone screen to see if someone finally replied. And the market does not reward that energy. The market punishes it. Because the market is the ultimate mirror. It reflects your psychology back at you with a price tag. Now let me introduce the main character of this story because it is not you, it is not me. It is a guy named Nate. But if you have traded for more than a month, you are going to hear Nate and think, that is me. Nate was not dumb, Nate was not lazy, Nate was not even new. Nate had watched the videos, Nate had read the threads, Nate had heard the rules. Cut losses, let winners run, do not trade with emotion, do not chase breakouts, wait for confirmation. He knew all of it. But knowing rules and living rules are two different lives. Nate traded the way some people date when they are lonely. He would wake up and immediately scan charts like someone opening a dating app with hungry eyes, not looking for quality, looking for something to happen, looking for a hit. Looking for that little rush that says, yes, I am alive. Yes, I am winning. Yes, I am finally early for once. And one day I watched him do something that was so common it should be in a museum of financial pain. A market had already moved. The breakout happened earlier. Clean, obvious, textbook. Anyone who planned properly either got in early or they passed. Nate stared at the chart and said, it is still going. I can feel it. I asked him, what is your plan? He said, my plan is it goes up. That was it. That was the plan. In dating, that is like saying, my plan is they fall in love with me. Okay, but how? Based on what? With what boundaries? With what standards? Nate pressed buy late. Price dipped. He panicked. He sold. It bounced. He bought again. It dipped again. He sold again. He kept checking the trade like someone double texting, then triple texting, then sending a message they regret, then deleting it, then sending another one. And by the end of the day, he had done what desperate daters do and what desperate traders do. He had donated his self-respect. He leaned back and said, "I do not get it. It was so obvious." And I said, "It was obvious earlier. You were not trading the setup. You were trading the feeling." That sentence changed the room, because chasing is not about charts. Chasing is about a feeling, the feeling of being late, the feeling of being left behind, the feeling of watching other people win while you sit there. So Nate asked the question every trader asks right before they either level up or keep suffering. He asked, "Okay, so what do I do instead?" And this is where the dating analogy becomes a weapon. Because in dating, attraction is not created by chasing. Attraction is created by standards and calm confidence. If someone gives you half energy and you respond by trying harder, you do not become more attractive. You become easier to ignore. If someone is pulling away and you respond by chasing, you do not build connection. You build pressure. Now translate that to trading. If price runs without you and you respond by forcing an entry, you do not increase your edge. You increase your risk. If a move starts without you and you respond by jumping in late, you are not participating in opportunity. You are paying a premium for panic. The market does not reward pursuit. The market rewards patience. So I told Nate something that felt simple but was brutal. Stop trying to win today. Start trying to trade correctly today. He rolled his eyes a little because that sounds like advice people say when they do not know what they are doing. So I got more specific. I said, "You need standards. You need boundaries. You need to stop letting your emotions pick your entries." And Nate said, "How?" I said, "You build a checklist." He laughed. "A checklist?" "Yes, a checklist. Because a checklist is the trading version of self-respect. A checklist forces you to prove a trade qualifies before you commit. And that one shift right there is the entire message of this video. Do not chase profits. Make profits qualify. Let the market come to you. Now here's where the story gets interesting, because Nate did not just agree and magically change. Nate fought it. The next morning he opened charts and the same old itch showed up. The itch that says, something is moving. Get in. Do something. And that is why most traders fail, by the way. Not because they do not have information, because they cannot tolerate doing nothing. Doing nothing feels like missing out. Doing nothing feels like being forgotten. Doing nothing feels like watching other people have fun while you sit alone. So Nate made the checklist and taped it to his monitor. And he promised himself one rule. He could not enter a trade until he could answer every question out loud. Question 1. What is the exact reason I am entering this trade in one sentence? Question 2. Where is the level that proves I am wrong? Question 3. How much money am I willing to lose if I am wrong? Question 4. What is my plan for managing the trade if it goes in my favor? Question 5. If I lose, what will I do next? Question 6. Am I entering because the setup is there or because I feel impatient? The first day, this felt annoying because checklists kill fantasy. And chasing is built on fantasy. Chasing is you imagining a perfect outcome and trying to force reality to match it. So the checklist did what it was designed to do. It exposed the truth. Nate saw a market running and felt the itch. He looked at his checklist and tried to answer question 1. What is the exact reason I am entering? He wanted to say something technical. He wanted to sound smart, but the real answer was, because I feel left out. And the moment he admitted that, the urge weakened. This is one of the most important psychological tricks in trading. Name the emotion. If you can name it, you can tame it. If you cannot name it, it controls you. Now the next trap showed up immediately, and it is the same trap that keeps people stuck in toxic relationships, fear of missing out. Nate said, "But what if it keeps going and I miss the whole move?" Perfect. That question is the root of chasing. So I told him the sentence that professional traders understand deep in their bones. There will always be another trade. He did not believe me at first, because when you are emotional, every move feels like the last train leaving the station. But markets are not one-time events. There are pullbacks, there are consolidations, there are new trends, there are new sessions, there are always new opportunities. The only reason you feel like this is the only chance is because your brain is addicted to excitement, not consistency. And the market loves addicted traders. Addicted traders are predictable. They chase, they overtrade. They increase size after losses. They trade when tired. They trade when angry. They trade when bored. They trade when they have something to prove. So Nate practiced a new response when he missed a move. He would look at the chart and say, "Good for them. Next." At first it felt fake, then it became real, and that one sentence did something powerful. It separated his ego from the chart, because chasing is not about money. Chasing is about ego. It is about wanting to feel early, wanting to feel smart, wanting to feel like you belong in the winner's circle. But trading is not a popularity contest. Trading is a probability business, and probability does not care about your feelings. So Nate started doing fewer trades, and for a week something amazing happened. He lost less. He did not suddenly become a genius. He did not find a secret indicator. He simply stopped donating money through impulsive entries. And then, just when he started improving, the market offered him a test. Because the market always tests you right when you think you are better. It happened on a Friday. Nate had a good week. His confidence was up. His account looked healthier. And his brain started whispering a new kind of chase. Not chasing entries, chasing outcomes. This is the second kind of chasing that destroys traders. You stop chasing to get in, but you start chasing to be right. You start watching every tick. You start micromanaging. You start taking profit too early because you are scared to lose. Then price keeps going without you, and you re-enter late to catch the rest. You know what that is in dating? It is insecurity. It is checking the phone every minute. It is reading into every tiny detail. It is trying to control the relationship because you cannot tolerate uncertainty. So I gave Nate a second rule, and this one is pure trading discipline. Decide while calm, so you do not decide while emotional. Before you enter, you define 3 things: entry, invalidation, and exit plan. Entry, what must happen for you to get in. Invalidation, what must happen for you to admit you are wrong. Exit plan, what you will do if it goes in your favor, and what you will do if it does not. Because if you do not plan exits before the trade, you will invent exits inside the trade. And inside the trade, you are emotional. Inside the trade, you are biased. Inside the trade, you are not the person you think you are. Nate hated this too at first, because planning feels slow and chasing is fast. But the goal is not excitement, the goal is consistency, so he started defining his risk properly. Here is some real advice that you can take seriously. If you risk too much per trade, you will chase. It is that simple. When one trade can damage your week, you will trade scared. And scared traders do not follow rules. They snatch profits early. They move stop losses. They hesitate on good entries. They jump into bad ones. They look for emotional relief, not good execution. So Nate set a rule. He would risk a small, fixed percentage of his account per trade. Small enough that a loss would not feel like an emergency. Because when risk is controlled, your mind stays clear. And clarity is where your edge lives. Now let us talk about the moment that changed everything for him, because this is the part you are going to remember. Nate got stopped out on a clean trade. And instead of chasing another trade, instead of revenge trading, instead of trying to win it back, he did something that felt almost ridiculous. He stood up. He walked away from the screen. He drank water. He came back and wrote one sentence in his journal. Did I follow my plan? Yes or no? That is it. That one question separates healthy losses from stupid losses. Healthy losses are part of the business. They are tuition for probability. Stupid losses are emotional debt. If you followed your plan, the loss is acceptable. It is not a moral failure. It is not proof you are bad. It is just one outcome in a long series of outcomes. If you did not follow your plan, then the loss is not the problem. The behavior is the problem. And here is the truth most people avoid. You do not need a higher win rate. You need fewer self-inflicted losses. Most accounts do not blow up from one trade. They blow up from a chain reaction. Late entry, small loss, ego bruise, re-entry, bigger size, another loss, panic, revenge trade, full tilt, disaster. So Nate made another boundary, and boundaries are everything in dating and trading. After any loss, he had a mandatory cool down, no new trades for a set amount of time, because the first trade after a loss is rarely your best trade. It is your emotional trade. It is the trading version of texting your ex when you feel lonely. It might feel good for 2 minutes, then you hate yourself. Now at this point, Nate was improving. He was calmer. He was doing fewer trades. He was managing risk. He was journaling. But he still had one old habit left, the biggest one. He still chased when he felt bored. Because boredom is dangerous. Boredom makes you create problems. Boredom makes you invent setups. Boredom makes you lower your standards. In dating, boredom makes people entertain low-quality attention just to feel something. In trading, boredom makes people click buttons just to feel alive. So we did something that sounds simple, but it works. We gave him a job that was not trading, because if the only thing you do is look for trades, you will force trades. So his new routine was this. When there was no setup, he had to do one of 3 things. He could review his last 10 trades and look for patterns. He could mark key levels and write what would make him interested, or he could step away and live his life. Because the market does not pay you for staring. The market pays you for executing high-quality moments. And high-quality moments are not constant. They are rare. Now we get to the final scene, the moment where the lesson hits like a punch. It was another late night, but this time the mood was different. A market was moving, strong trend, clean momentum, the kind of move that used to trigger Nate like an alarm. Price started running without him. Old Nate would have chased it instantly. New Nate felt the itch, but he did not obey it. He watched. He waited. He had a level marked, a specific level, a level he planned earlier while calm, because that is what professionals do. They plan before emotion shows up. Price pulled back toward his level, and now the real test began. It hovered just above. It teased him. It was like the market was saying, "Come on, jump early. You know you want to." His heart rate rose, and he could feel the chase trying to return. And this is where you and him are the same, because the hardest moments are not when you do not know what to do. The hardest moments are when you know exactly what to do, but you want to break your rules anyway. Nate looked at his checklist. Question 6. Am I entering because the setup is there, or because I feel impatient? He waited. Price tapped the level. It bounced slightly. He still waited. Then Price dipped below the level for a moment, like a fake out, then snapped back above with strength and clear rejection. That was his confirmation. Now he entered, calm, stop defined, risk fixed. No drama, no begging, no chasing. And the trade worked, not because he predicted the future, because he waited for the market to prove itself. Later he told me something that sounded simple, but it was everything. When I stopped chasing, I stopped getting played. That is the whole lesson. Because the market plays chasers. Just like people play chasers in dating, if you chase attention, you teach the other side that you have no standards. If you chase profits, you teach the market that you will pay any price to feel relief. And the market will happily take that deal. So here is the practical part, because I do not want this to just be a cute analogy. I want it to change how you trade. If you want to stop chasing profits, you need to trade like someone with standards. That means you pre-select what you trade. You do not jump into random charts just because something is moving. That means you define what qualifies as a setup before the session, not during a spike. That means you set a fixed risk per trade that is small enough to keep you rational. That means you place a stop loss at a logical invalidation level, not at a level that feels comfortable. That means you accept that being wrong is part of the job, and you do not try to punish the market for rejecting you. And that means you measure yourself by execution, not money, because money is noisy. Execution is clean. There will be days where you trade well and still lose. There will be days where you trade badly and still win. If you judge yourself by money, you will chase. If you judge yourself by process, you will improve. Now let me give you one more mental shift that will save you more money than any strategy. Your job is not to make money today. Your job is to execute well today. Money is the side effect of good execution repeated over time. If you chase money today, you sacrifice execution. And when you sacrifice execution, you lose money anyway. So the next time you see price running without you and you feel that familiar chest tightness and your brain starts screaming that you need to jump in right now, do this. Pause, breathe, ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. Am I entering because the setup qualifies or because I feel desperate? If the answer is desperate, do not click, let it go. Say out loud, good for them, next. Because you are not here to catch every move. You are here to catch your move. You are here to trade the moments you planned for, the moments that fit your standards, the moments that you can repeat without needing luck. And if you want one final line to tattoo into your brain, make it this. Do not chase profits. Make profits qualify. Trade like you have standards. Because in dating, the best relationships are not chased, they are built. And in trading, the best results are not chased either, they are earned. You do not need more excitement. You need more discipline. You do not need more trades. You need better trades. You do not need to be everywhere. You need to be precise. So next time you feel the chase rising, remember Nate. Remember the checklist. Remember the boundary. Remember the cool down. Remember that the market, like dating, rewards calm confidence. And the moment you stop chasing, everything changes. Because you stop begging the market to pay you. You stop paying premiums for panic. You stop donating money for emotional relief. You stop getting played, and you finally start trading like the person you thought you were all along. I do not chase, I select, I wait, I execute. Say it again. I do not chase, I select, I wait, I execute. That is how you turn trading from a toxic relationship into a business you control. And that is how you stop chasing profits for good.